Like, what is the first step you would tell someone outside their job to take this? Because you guys have built an empire. This is not a side hustle. You guys have built an empire. So how do you get them started?
Yeah, so I would encourage them to wholesale starting out, right? So the first thing you want to do is you go on Facebook Marketplace, or you go on Google Maps and you start typing in mobile home parks. Then what you want to do is you want to see all the parks that you're willing to go to. First, start driving in those communities. Look for sale signs or stop in. If they have a park office, you want them to stop in the park office. If you get a seller on the phone, the biggest thing is, like I would say, wholesale. You want to see how can you help this seller, right?
What's wholesaling?
So wholesaling is when you're pretty much the middleman. You're brokering the deal. Wholesaling is you're finding a seller who needs to sell, and then from there you're helping him. Once you get under contract, you're marketing that home to find a buyer. And whatever the difference is, you either take a percentage or a fee from that transaction.
Who is someone that you'd hear, you'd be like, maybe not?
I think if you kind of like a jack of all trades, if you already investing in single family and you doing stocks and you doing like
everything.
No, yeah, exactly. Like this ain't for you, right? Because it's gonna take time. It's not something you could just do from your phone. You're gonna have to go out in the field. Like you're gonna have, and then if you don't have transportation, like this ain't for you, right? You need a form of transportation. Now, can you do virtual host? You can do virtual, but I like people you can get scammed that way too, though. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
what's the hardest part about investing in mobile homes?
Yeah, so honestly, it's a few things. I would say hardest part is find somebody who's reliable to do the work, because it's harder to find a contractor that does single family homes that's going to be willing to come and do a mobile home, because for one, the value, right? Like we talk about assets are less than $50,000 a lot of times, especially used. When you find used ones, you talk about 10. So now if you're going with these handymen, we call them like these handy guys, not reliable. These guys is, they getting the money, get drunk, getting high, and then they disappear on you. You know what I'm saying? So a lot is finding reliable handyman, sometimes even dealing with the integrity of the mobile home community, right? So like the park managers, if you're doing business inside of a park, now you have these park managers who will give you promises like, oh yeah, you can do this, you can do that, and then turn around like, no, you can't do this.
Most people, when they're in that situation, they're not spending $12,000 to get their mind right, because usually we don't measure our mind, if you will. Speaking as a therapist, I'm like, people don't focus on that. So what made you say that that's important to do before you went ahead and bought anything or did anything else?
So you got fired and then spent $12,000.
Yeah.
I wanted to make that clear.
Take that, but go ahead.
So that's a wonderful question, because the thing was, I had already started reading like self-help books, and I was listening to podcasts, and I remember a guy named Willie Cauley. He said he got a life coach was really helped him change his life around. I was like, I need one of those, right? So I went into a program, and at that time they was training how to become a life coach. I was like, well, let me invest $10,000 over here, all credit cards at the time. Like, let me invest that, right? And then I start going to other like personal development seminars, and everything was in common because I was fearful. I knew I had to get out of this mindset of taking risk, and everything was totally different from the people that I was around. They was talking a whole nother language, about being present and just as far as believing in yourself and you are your own destiny. I'm just like, this is different. Everybody else is, we talking how broke we is and all this kind of stuff.
Before you continue, I need to know where you guys get this drive from, because do you have any parents, any grandparents, anybody that taught you, or just kind of like, we gonna have to make it, it's gonna have to work or have to work?
So it was. I'll honestly say, like, for myself, that when the day I got fired, I was told I'm an entrepreneur. Like, that was the thing. Like, I'm going to do it. So I had already failed at like 3-4 things already. Okay. So it was like, I don't care. Like, I'm not doing it. You know what I'm saying? I got nothing to lose. I'm throwing it
Those
all in.
Those are the scariest people that have nothing to lose, by the way. But in a good way for you guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she trusted me, right? She trusted me to kind of like, okay, well, and then she was learning from but yeah, when we went to Denver though, we met up with him. He said, listen. He said, I've never met anybody who looks like you all.
So before we even get into the numbers of it, so you guys pretty much more than doubled your money with your first investment. Yeah. You see this shining light. You're like, all right, we're gonna go all into this. Like, what was the next step after how do you even flip a mobile home? You buy it and you like sell it to somebody on Facebook?
Yeah.
Like, how does this work?
Where you selling that?
So that's the beautiful thing about it.
Where you selling that to? Right. Who's buying it?
I love it. So the funny thing, most people, like, that was the question even for us, like, who's buying it, right? Because again, we from Chicago, we like, ain't no mobile homes around here, right?
I was gonna ask you, is that where you found your first one in Chicago?
No, so funny thing in Chicago is one mobile home community. It's closer to Indiana. Everything else is outside. side. Like for example, Texas has over 5,000 mobile home communities, right? Illinois has over 1,100. So we had to go out like an hour and a half for it. But once we acquired it, definitely Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, offer. Like you put them, you're listing your home inside of, especially anything in less than like 50,000. You're listing them like in unorthodox places. You're not putting
Not
on
Zillow.
not Zillow, not Realtor.com,
Not
right?
Redfin. Okay,
Like you're putting on people on a marketplace because that's where people are looking for affordability, right? And you'll be surprised when we first bought our first 2 homes, we had over 200 leads.
So in mobile home investing, is it the same things that we would face with as being landlords or just like residential properties? What type of things do you face being a mobile home investor?
Yeah, so the lovely thing about it is levels to it, right? So starting out as if you're investing inside of a mobile home park, then that is a little bit more protection for you. Meaning, because since it's a community already owned by either like a corporation, we call it mom and pop, you're just leasing the land, right? So that's why they have like an HOA called lot rent, right? So they pay that monthly lot rent, and then the value of the house is what you can determine, and it's normally personal property inside of a community.
Okay.
Then what I love about it though, when you buy a mobile home on your own land, like let's say it's in a neighborhood that has single family houses, now you can actually comp that with single family. So that will be the same. Everything is the same as real estate. Once it's affixed to land, then that's when it's taxed and everything, just like a single family home. Yeah.
So how did you even know that this was gonna be the thing? You said you listened to a podcast and it kind of sparked your interest, but you said you were already doing self-development. So there's probably tons of podcasts that you were listening to that said, get into something with no money down or low money down. It could have been wholesale. It could have been tons of different things that gave the same message, but why mobile home investing?
Yeah, so we started looking on Facebook Marketplace and stuff, and we saw mobile homes 2,000, 4,000, 7,000. We like, hold on, like this, we can afford this, right? Like I don't necessarily have the money, but I'm pretty sure I can get a personal loan. And so the first deal, Sharnice found a guy. He was selling. He had 2 mobile homes. He wanted 7,000 for it. We're like, okay, we could do this. So we went and took out a high interest loan from Lending Club. $10,000 with
I'll be trying to give them money to lend out to other people. I'm like, those interest rates are crazy.
24%, y'all.
Yeah.
24%. And we just took the leap of faith, and we ended up getting them down to 4,300. And we was for two.
Okay.
And we're just like, oh, because now we're excited, right? Because now I'm looking at all this fix and flip. Yeah, it's happening. We in it. And one of them was move-in ready. We had to do nothing to it. The other one we put $3,000 into, and luckily her father had experience. He had a friend that did handiwork, so he helped me save money. We only put $3,000 into that one. Within 45 days, we sold one for $10,000. We sold the other one for $9,500.
Now, I was gonna say, speaking of program, can you tell our listeners and viewers how they can tap in with mobile home elite investors and how they can get their first mobile home? For sure. So the first thing you want to follow us on every single platform. Everything is Mobile Home Elite Investors at Mobile Home Elite Investors. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and even on YouTube, right? At Mobile Home Elite Investors. And you start on YouTube. I always would tell people, man, go to the free stuff first, right? And then if you like, hey, I need more, then we have a program. You go to mobilehomeeliteinstitute.com.